I made a video yesterday called Woo Poetics because I was thinking about, what the tropes of that literary genre we call woo. So I just see myself and look at all these hoods I've got and Christ in my, and suggesting that there's a set of conventions that are used within that kind of writing to produce particular cognitive effects, and relating that to some of the effects that you find in mystical, spiritual writings. Because there are identifiable features in those. The use of particular metaphors, the use of certain kinds of prosody, which is the structuring of sentences, so they have kinds of rhythms and that kind of cadences to them, and so on, So that, for example, one of the things you find is kind of paradoxes, deliberately mixed metaphors within woo writing, or mystical writing even, which kind of holds the mind, not the conscious mind necessarily, although that may be involved, but a lot of kind of cognitive processing is kind of held in the attempt to resolve a paradox, or at least the mind is given additional time, or takes longer, trying to resolve a paradox that's been caused by a mixed metaphor, or something like that in the language, which the brain in turn interprets as a sign of significance. If parts of your cognitive cycles you're kind of held trying to think, what does that mean, what does that mean, what does that mean, then it kind of takes the mind captive, it kind of holds it hostage for a while. And that might be a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not saying it isn't necessarily, it's certainly an interesting thing, isn't it? I mean, you find it in Zen koans, that kind of effect, where you dwell on them consciously, but they also occupy the mind in a certain way, which, I don't know, perhaps frees up other things, who knows. But either way, that's kind of what it's doing. We're trying to think of some examples that'll be familiar to you and I. I suppose the only one I could think of is the claim that's often made in religious circles about God being outside of space and time. On the face of it, it sounds like it makes a kind of sense. It's an orderly sentence with all the nouns and verbs and so on in the right places. But it contains an internal paradox. Being outside of space doesn't make any sense. Not sure if outside of time makes sense either, but certainly outside of space doesn't make any sense. But so part of my cognitive cycles, I suspect, are being invited to consider that over and over again. Try and make sense of this. Like in those old TV shows, we'd ask a computer, ask a robot some question. What is love? There we go, does not compute, and smoke would start coming out of it, that kind of thing. I think something like that's going on, at least that's the idea of this. That there's the poetic effect of being mystified, or being held by the mystification. Perhaps, as I say, not necessarily be a bad thing. Maybe sometimes being held in that state could have an interesting effect. But that's part of that. Anyhow, that's just repeating myself, really. What I'm thinking of, really, is how that relates to its opposite. Because I made a bunch of videos recently, well, not that recently, a few months ago anyway, about fundamentalism. Particularly religious fundamentalism, but other forms of fundamentalist thought. And I think in many ways, fundamentalism, which is weird considering it's often associated with religion, fundamentalism is often operates in a kind of inverse way to the way that woo works. If I was to start to describe a fundamentalist poetics, which I kind of started to do in that series of videos, it would do the opposite things. Instead of having these weird, paradoxical, mixed metaphors, which kind of catch the mind and just kind of hold it in this weird, spacey, elevated position, it closes them down. It tends to be very rigid, an over-reliance on coherence, a way of constraining thought, so that everything just feels certain. Certainty hits you really quickly with fundamentalism. So it terminates thought in certainty, and keeps it apparently fixed to the ground. as opposed to forcing thought to stay aloft, which is the thing that woo poetics does. So it's kind of anti-woo, you know, fundamentalist thought is a kind of anti-woo in terms of the poetics. Of course, this has nothing to do with the veracity or otherwise of the ideas expressed. I'm talking about these literary genres or ways of writing and the kinds of thinking and maybe even behaviour that follows that. Because certainly if you're caught on the ground because your thought has been terminated by fundamentalism, or if you're caught in the air because your thought has been suspended by woo, then you're not thinking anymore, are you really? You're doing something else. So there could be knock-on effects of those. Look at the state of the day today, look. It actually poured it down all night. Most of the tracks I've been walking Phoebe on are just full of mud. Some of them are inches deep in water. I've got another half hour to go before I get home. Oh well, see you.